Breaks defenders. Here he goes again. Scatterby with the running back, and he is immediately met in the backfield, runs through the contact, and then throws a shoulder for good measure.
We're going to chuck this deep this year. That is true. High in the air. Right center field. Brandon comes in. Welcome to 2025. Today. Just one the other way. Still going back. The drag. Walks up and down.
Edwards pulls off and buries it. Richardson drives out for Robbie Ryan. Hurt three right on the money.
Takes his shot for Derby. Flag out. What is up, my Pitchfork Lunch peeps? Here we are. Welcome into Monday's awesome edition of, Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, it is time to row. We're going to hear from Molly Miller, Coach Miller, because, she said some very interesting things, but the fact she has to say them, and like I said, I'll get to it. But anyway, I am Michael Caratanito at Diablo00 on X, the artist formerly known as the Twitter. You know it, you love it. You can watch the show live there every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. You can also check out my wonderful IG at michael.caratanito.5. Yeah, I know. Hey, what's up, Emily? Happy Monday to you as well. It was an insane weekend in Sun Devil Nation, and I will definitely get to that. But yes, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, just absolutely insane weekend. We'll hear from Coach Miller. But yes, I am Michael Caratino at Diablo00 on X, formerly known as Twitter. See the show live there every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. You can also, I know I may have mentioned this to you guys before. This is so weird. You can go to the wonderful world of IG and watch the show live there at michael.caratanito.5. I know, absolutely crazy, right? So yes, you can check out the show live on the wonderful world of IG. It's a dot between the first and last name, and then a .5, and then bam, there you are. And guys, last but definitely not least, the YouTube channel. Watch live on YouTube, but also subscribe, because if you're just joining us, again, forks up. Happy that you are here. Very stoked that you are here, checking out Pitchfork Lunch. But I will say, shame on you. Where have you been? But that's why I got you covered. That's why you need to go to YouTube and subscribe, because you can catch up on all the, again, you've missed a plethora of phenomenal con reviews. Coaches, players, voices, insiders, ton of coaches, ton of players. You've missed it all here. And so you can go back, though, and you can watch. And in the case, also Coach Miller, again, got the row shirts on for Coach Miller, because to me, again, I'm going to play what she said. And the fact that she has to say this, guys, is ridiculous, right? It's completely ridiculous, because it's eye test, but we'll get to that. So anyway, go to YouTube, though. You see my name, Michael Caratanito. My page is at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ, 005, at MVC005 on YouTube, guys, and subscribe away. Again, coaches, players, voices, insiders, alum, an athletic director who, again, in the madness of scheduling, and the men start the Big 12 tournament. Men start the Big 12 tournament. They'll be taking on Baylor. Again, working out to, but baseball season, softball season here. Tough weekend for softball. Not so tough for baseball, as they got back in the win column. And man, Landon Harrison, this kid leading off. I mean, the lineup in general. I mean, you have to be able to produce. You put up 23 runs, you can produce. You guys know this, my Pitchfork Lunchers. But absolutely hell of a weekend for them. Women's tennis, lacrosse, beach volleyball. Going to hit it all. So that's why you subscribe to the YouTube channel, because like I said, keep watching season 3, but you can binge watch season 1, keep watching season 3, binge watch season 2, keep watching season 3. And then as it all comes to fruition, when we get going, and again, we got a lot of ASU, a lot of Sun Devil action left before that. But when season 4 gets going, guess what? You'll be all caught up. And when we have people on, it'll be like, oh, well, why didn't they talk about this or that? Yeah, again, some of the same things might kind of be talked about, or asked, but a few things. But, again, teams are different. Want to have different conversations. Again, it's not just X's and O's come on, we're Sun Devils. We're innovative. So, yes, you can check that out. And, again, go to YouTube. But it's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ, 005, at MVC005 on YouTube. And subscribe. So, yes, we will start with baseball having a phenomenal weekend. Yes, I was out at softball all weekend with Utah, and I have a gripe about that. But baseball, Coach Bloomquist and his team, they take 3 from LMU, which, again, not a bad thing. They take 3 from LMU, get back in the in the winning column in a big way and stay undefeated at home, which is even, of course, as you start getting in the as you start getting into, and we just get started. I'm not trying to rush the season. I'm enjoying it. But they're 11-4. They've won 3 in a row, 10-0 at home for Sun Devil men's baseball. Coach Bloomquist, again, I love Coach Bloomquist, and yes, I know I got some messages. Yes, we need to have him back on because we've had many great conversations, usually right before the season starts. So, but we're into the season, so yeah, they had LMU over the weekend. They won 12-4, 9-1, and 29-4 yesterday. So yeah, I know Harrison hit his second grand slam of the season also, which, again, phenomenal. Tomorrow, guys, at 6:35 p.m., get your butts to Phoenix Muni. Do not be in maroon and gold, all gold, whatever. But that team from down south will be up here. No, it doesn't count as a Big 12 game for those who's checking out for the first time. That team down south will be here. And how do we feel? How do we feel about that team down south? We don't like that team down south. I know I was giving you a second to digest that one. But yeah, tomorrow night, 6:35. Oh, this is a good one. This is what we love. We enjoy doing. I will show you in a second. But yeah, Arizona will be up here. Yeah. Yep. We definitely like putting the fork through that. Putting it through that team. Yes. 150 million%. Absolutely. But I mean, again, this team is now 11-4, and I mean, literally like at the bottom of the ninth away at Oklahoma from being 12-3, guys. I mean, going toe to toe with Oklahoma, and then yeah, I mean, it was, Mississippi State. They definitely had a chance to come back there. Tennessee, same thing, and then A&M. I mean, it was kind of like the death by 1,000 paper cuts syndrome, but again, they never stopped. They never stopped grinding there. So that, in and of itself, doesn't suck, as we know, because we like to beat them. But I mean, so yeah, but anywho, wait, this is what I wanted to show you. This is what I wanted to show you. Yes, this is what was needed. You need to see, and believe me, it will be up before the game tomorrow. But Give me a sec. Yep, here you go. Here you go. Bam. How you like that, guys? That is a beautiful thing to see. Oh, poor little Wilbur getting destroyed by Sparky. I had to get that to you. But yeah, so baseball, again, hell of a weekend. 50 runs altogether. Yeah, we'll take that, right? We will definitely take that. They go 3-0. On the wrestling, by the way, too, huge shout out wrestling. Some individual Big 12 champs were some obviously Caleb Valencia, Caleb Urban. It was Cal Valencia, by the way, not Caleb. I was looking at Caleb Larkin. Placed first in the 157 weight class, and Nico Ruiz first in the 165 pound weight class. So they both took first. Kyle Larkin took second at 133. David Zuba took third at 285. Colton Hawks took sixth at 197, and Cal Valencia took seventh at 174. And then Pearson Manville took eighth at 141. And Larkin took the championship round 20-3 over Leighton Schneider of Oklahoma. He scored. Obviously, he went 20-3. He scored points left and right, but just absolutely dominated. And then Larkin beat Landon Robideau of Oklahoma State 4-3. Had a takedown, and he also, in period 1 and period 2, he had an escape, which got him the extra point because Robideau also had a takedown. I went back and watched this match, guys. It's just awesome. Good, loving Coach Jones and ASU Wrestling. So yeah. But again, forks up to wrestling. Coach Jones again doing such a phenomenal job. And then Nico Ruiz, he beat, of course, I know Oklahoma State had somebody in the finals. That's so weird. He beat Ladarian Lockett 2-1. He had an escape. He had an escape in the second, and then Lockett had an escape in the third, and then in overtime 1-0, and then Ruiz had an escape, got the point, in overtime to wins it 2-1, and that was again just insane because the time going by and watching it, ASU wrestling again, forks up, man. I know I only got out to one meet this year, and they hit the road a lot too, but yeah, so that was the Big 12 championships again, just absolutely phenomenal, phenomenal job. And then guys that are going to go to the NCAA wrestling championships, which happened to be March 19th through 21st at Rocket Arena. So they are coming up. They don't have they get a little bit of time, get a little bit of, obviously, training, but get that teeny bit of recovery in. And again, this time of year, to be as healthy as possible, always an added bonus. So, man, forks up to Coach Jones. Love what, again, he does and how the wrestlers just grow. I mean, you always say in sports and athletes, you want to see them like to keep growing and like getting better. And, if you're peaking in the beginning of the season, that could be tough. But the growth from the alum coach, Zeke Jones, and also the growth from like that wrestlers see. And again, yeah, each weight class, yes, but just as wrestlers as they grow, again, alum coach, part of the first and only national championship team to this point, and an Olympic silver medalist. Like, yeah, I want to come wrestle for that guy. Absolutely want to come wrestle for the competitiveness of that guy. So, man, absolute forks up to wrestling. I did tell you beach volleyball had a hell of a weekend. They took care of Nebraska on. I mean, they're 10-0, and they took care of Nebraska 5-0 early Friday, which again I didn't get out to. That was right at 1:00 when the show was finishing up. But they beat Nebraska 5-0. But I did make it out for the tail end of their second battle within like a week of that team with that team down south, and they ended up beating Arizona 3-2. I'll show some. I got some solid highlights. I'll show that a little bit later, but yeah, they turn around. So the Sun Devil Classic, they beat Nebraska, beat Arizona. That was Friday. Saturday, they turn around, beat Southern Miss and Stephen F. Austin 5-0 on each. And now they head to East Meets West Invitational, and they will this Friday, the 13th. Woo! Yeah, it's going to be spooky for UCLA, I'll tell you that much. 9 a.m. Local time here, but they're at the Manhattan Beach Pier. So, hey, Cali Devils, if you happen to be near Manhattan Beach, get your butts out to that. Again, it is Friday, so I got a little bit more time to remind you. You got a little time to prepare too. But they have UCLA at 9, and then they have Cal at 1:30. And then next Saturday, they have, this coming Saturday, I should say, they have Loyola Marymount at noon, and then Hawaii at 2:30. To close that out. But again, just absolutely working. And there was a ton of Nebraska. I mean, again, weird. Nebraska sport traveling well, weird. There was a ton of Nebraska fans there, but the Devils, again, 5-0. And, yeah, I mean, Arizona was the only one that took matches off them. But, that was 3-2. Again, rivalry going to happen. And then 5-0 against Southern Miss and Stephen F. Austin. So, yeah, they're just rocking it for Coach. 10-0. They've won 10 in a row, 4-0 at home, 2-0 away, 4-0 neutral site. So, hi, yeah, forks up. Come, meet our beach volleyball team. So yeah, very, very stoked for them. Also, water polo. Hey, I know they were out of town, but as we get the Pitchfork Lunch recap, as we do on Mondays, so the Convergence tournament, as you know, they were they had 4 matches, and against Pomona Pitzer, Wagner, Santa Clara, and UC Irvine. Yeah, that's 4-0. They took care of Pomona Pitzer Friday, 19-5, as they took care of Wagner on Friday, 23-9. Then Saturday they took out Santa Clara, and they beat them 24-5. And then that was at 9:30 a.m. And the 2:30 UC Irvine they beat UC Irvine, 16-9. To keep rocking for Coach Party, who's just absolutely crushing it. So that's in and of itself very, very huge. They have USC coming up this Saturday, 1 p.m., Mona Plummer Aquatic Center. And yes, that is their last home. That will be the last home match. So I'm telling you right now, it is a free event. I will be there. Again, having only been to 2 other matches, and again, not getting any crazy footage, interviews, stuff like that. But again, I will remedy this. Don't you worry. But yeah, USC is this Saturday, and yeah, you got to get out there for that, because USC, again, very tough team, because then they're at UCLA the next weekend, and then April 3rd they are at Indiana, who's a MPSF conference member. So, and then the MPSF championships are Friday, April 10th through Sunday, April 12th, and then the NCAA championships April 25th and 26th at the UCSD Canyon View Aquatic Center. So yeah, San Diego, not a bad place to have them. But yes, so yeah, again, 23-3 for Coach Party and a phenomenal team. They're 1-2 in conference. They won 4 in a row. They're 15-1 at home. They're 1-1 away and 7-1 on neutral sites. So yeah, that's how you become obviously 23-3, but just dominant. Coach Party, again, it's just the most. Pardon me. We have international teams, but this is the most internationally flavored team. And like I said, we're going to get out to USC, get out to more of it. So forks up there. To women's water polo, women's tennis, by the way. Hello, can we say phenomenal weekend? Well, a phenomenal start of March. Back on March 1st, I know, so long ago, just 8 days ago. But they were at number 54 Baylor. They won that 4-3. This past Friday, they hosted Houston and took Houston out 4-0, who's number 29. Then they took on number 25 UCF, and they did lose. They did drop that on Sunday, 4-3. But still, I mean, you look at what Coach Jackson is doing, and this team is 10-4 overall, 2-2 in conference. All right, again, but and then obviously they lost one, but they're 4-2 at home, 3-1 away, 3-1 neutral. So yeah, I mean, taking care of home court, impressive, want to do, but 3-1 on the road and 3-1 neutral sites. So yeah, it's I mean, they're lost. So they lost 3, but they've only been swept 4-0, and that was by number 2 Texas A&M back on January 27th, the ITA kickoff weekend. So, and they had beaten TCU the day before 4-2. But yeah, I mean, they've swept a few 4-0. But yeah, and then next up is this Saturday. Of course, why would it not be this Saturday? Wear gold. On the 14th at noon, they take on that team down south. Yeah, so Arizona will be up here Saturday at noon. We got more to get to, but they're just absolutely rocking it. And a softball, no, I'm not going to ignore it. They got swept this weekend, as you Pitchfork Lunchers may have seen my updates, as it was opening weekend in the Big 12, and they went from 19-3 to 19-6 as Utah won the last game because of time thing, and I'll explain it to you, and it is just absolutely stupid. It shouldn't even be in the book as an option. This is college. This isn't some juniors league it's not a bunch of little kids playing. Like this is ridiculous. And this, needs this. I'll explain even more. But it was a tough weekend. We did see Mackenzie Brown back on in the circle. She was on a pitch count, and she pretty much used all those in the first inning. Was a little tough, but again, just getting her stuff back, and Utah can hit the ball, and they have a very good hitting team. There are a few players from Arizona there. Again, every single player from Arizona can stay here. Even if you had all players from Arizona on your team, there would still be a ton that are gone because there's only a certain number of players you can have. But that being said, Utah, again, they stayed hot. They hit Mika Lupi was it yesterday? Or Kenzie Brown. Sorry, I was talking about Kenzie Brown. Apologies. But look, I mean, it was a tough weekend for softball, and we'll hear from Coach Bartlett from yesterday. But yeah, you lose 9-5 and 8. That went extras, and you lose 15-0 and 5. Like that, just everything went wrong Saturday. Hitting wise, the bats were obviously not passed. And then 11-6 yesterday, but in 6 innings because of time, which is ridiculous because I'll explain to you in a minute. But yeah, I mean, look, defensively, did they play? Yeah, they didn't kick the ball around. It wasn't even that. It's just Utah was hitting the ball. Utah hit some monster home runs. My pitchfork lunch peeps. Utah hit some monster home runs. And, I mean, ASU, again, Katie Chester, this kid, man. And then Kaylee Pond had a home run too yesterday. But, yeah, they were down, and they were chopping back. And it's 11-6 going to the top of the 7th, momentum. And, yeah, Utah still could have won. But, anyway, we'll get to that very, very, very shortly. So, yes, softball 0-3 this weekend. They got UTEP tomorrow. They actually are about to take off on a flight to El Paso. But they have UTEP tomorrow at 2 p.m. You can check it out on ESPN+. Also, this weekend, though, they will be home for Oklahoma State, which so yeah, Oklahoma State, number 19, number 12 will be here. Again, you need to get something going against UTEP. But yeah, and it looks like, well, we'll hear from Coach Bartlett, but I think Kenzie Brown will probably be on the in the circle Friday. So again, it's just the pitching staff is really good. It is good, but it's just when you're missing that ace, and you'll hear from Coach. I'll digress, but yeah. So UTEP tomorrow, you get the shake this weekend, but you better go after UTEP. I'll tell you that, man. It's being prepared, it's focusing, which they are, but at the same time, not over pressing. But yeah, you better get at it because hey, teams are copycat teams. They see that blood in the water. What Utah did, they're going to come out and be like, all right, well, we can, what can we do? Blah blah blah. Now, I'm not saying they have the same players, but believe me, there's going to be some talent there. So that was that. So, oh, and by the way, I wanted to get. So, men's golf, by the way, they finished 7th at the Cabo Collegiate, and I totally thought it was, for some reason, I thought it was this coming weekend coming up. And I went back and looked, and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't talk about that. They finished 7th. Yes, they had won back-to-back Cabo Collegiates, but they finished 7th. That's not why I spaced it, had it on my calendar. I mean, it's on the site as the right dates. In my calendar, it's the wrong dates. So, anyway. But they finished 7th. But now today and tomorrow, they're at the Desimone Invitational, which is at the Lake Merced Golf Course. So, as they are taking on Cal. And then a week from today, they are at the Tucson Country Club for the Arizona Thunderbird, which they will be taking on, of course, that team down south. So, again, wanted to give them a shout out. We'll get to more. They took February 5th through 7th, and we talked about that, the Amber Ari. They took third place in that. So that was awesome to see. And then, yes, so that is men's golf. Didn't forget the Cabo Invitational. And yes, they are playing today and tomorrow, like I said, at the Lake Merced Golf Course. So, hey, quick break. When we get back, I'm going to shift gears. I'm going to play for you what Molly Miller said after a phenomenal, and we talk about this phenomenal Big 12 run, which, again, West Virginia ended up winning it. They lost to West Virginia in the quarters, which was West Virginia's first game. It was their third. So, but again, hey, West Virginia, they earned it. So, again, not whining, not complaining. That's how it's set up when you have that many teams, and it should be set up like that. You get rewarded for when the regular season matters. Weird. Hey, football, why don't we hear that out loud? The regular season matters. But nonetheless, so, yes, we're going to take a quick break, step aside. But when we get back, yes, don't go anywhere. Molly Miller, the fact she had to say all this, and I'll get to that. The fact she had to say all this to me is crazy, but at the same time, like, we all know why, because the way some things are. But we'll step aside and we'll hear from Coach Miller. Also hear from Coach Bartlett on the other side as well. Here on Pitchfork Lunch. All right, back here on Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, I am Michael Carasino at Diablo00 on XR, something known as the Twitter. Check out So Live there every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. Also on the wonderful world of IG at michael.carasino.5 and the YouTube channels Pitchfork Lunchers. Hey, forks up to those of you new subscribers and those of you that have subscribed. But go to YouTube, watch live, but guys, do subscribe because you have got a ton to get caught up on. I know I talked about obviously the plethora of phenomenal con reviews you've missed, but just even, like interviews with her on the show, but sound, post game sound, practice, out at practice, getting sound, bringing daily stuff there, like going in and around, chatting with you, giving you, the view. So again, subscribe, check it all out. It's at Emmons and Michael V is in Victory Season Champ 005 at MVC 005 on YouTube and subscribe away. But hey, we're gonna get right to it. Molly Miller. Look, this is after the Big 12 championship where they beat the team down south for the third time. Yeah, it was a little ugly, but pardon me, who cares? They trounced the team down south, swept them, broom, hey, how about this? Little Wilbur on a stick? Guys, yeah. It's exactly what women's hoops did to them. There was a little bit of that mixed with, obviously putting the fork in them because they're done. Absolutely awesome, right, my friends? So, you guys know this pitchfork punchers, but yes, they beat them, turn around, beat Iowa State, which we talked about. Not going to go down that road again, but a phenomenal battle there and beating Iowa State. Very, very tough and has been a solidly ranked team all year. And then you're toe-to-toe at West Virginia, and late they go on like an 8-0 run, and then that's that. But they fought, and they had a phenomenal season. So anyway, I'm going to play what Molly Miller said after that as to why this team should be in the tournament. In fact, she has to say this. And again, coaches can pound tables, and coaches have to pound tables, right? You guys know this. But the fact that, again, this is the conversation around them, and it has been for a while. To me, they're not a bubble team. They're a flat-out tournament team. It has nothing to do with the Homer show, guys. Nothing to do. You can hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think. What do you think? And I want to hear Coach Miller. Then I'll also add to her point, because her points, which are, again, phenomenally great. But it's sad that she has to, again, be that, salesperson bubble team when they're not a bubble team to me. They're a tournament team. Here's Coach Miller after, again, the loss to West Virginia, but, again, still a phenomenal Big 12 run. Final Four in Phoenix. You guys know this. So, yes. Here's Coach Molly Miller, and I'm bringing it to you, and then we'll chat about it afterwards.
Game turnaround. That's an incredible story. Let me tell you why I love this team and why America is falling in love with this team. This is the number one turnaround team in the country at the Power 4 level. It's a 14-game turnaround. That's an incredible story. If you get to know them and their stories and how we've meshed this together, to win, I'm going to start with the closer, to win 24 games, no Power 4 team has ever, in the history of the tournament, been left out with 24 wins. And I'm going to hit you with a 1, 2, 3. So the one is we've won 12 top 100 net games. That's first out of any team on the bubble. So over half of our wins are truly very competitive at the highest level. We have, honestly, from the start to finish, on the road, that's our number 2, we have 9 wins away from home. So we've proven we can win anywhere. Number 3, we have 7 quad 1, quad 2 wins, and that's tied for 3rd amongst all bubble teams. So the other thing in that schedule is we don't have a bad loss. we lost on the road at Cincy, and that's still a Q3 loss. We don't have a Q4 loss. So I think when you put that resume together and the fact that we finally got our signature win against a healthy Iowa State as well, we've got the package, the resume, and then we also have, the acumen to go on the road and win. We played the 5 teams that we played that were in the top of this conference, 4 of them we played on the road. And the one we did play at home, Oklahoma State, we ended up winning. So the fact that history is on our side, the fact that we have, out of all the bubble teams, the best record, 12 wins against top 100 teams, that shows the competitiveness of this team. If you're going to go play in the most competitive tournament in the country, you want the most competitive teams, and that's Arizona State.
And that's Arizona State. Thank you, Coach Miller. And yes, again, those numbers, the committee looks at that. You're not going to have if UConn was 0-33, which they're not, they're 33-0, and they won their conference championship game by like 49 points. They just, they're obviously really good. But let's not get crazy here. They are competitive. They have gone on the road. They went to Penn State, and they, traveled back, came home back cross country, played an Oregon State at home, played on the road, played Gonzaga. You get overtime wins. You get, like that stretch where they played Penn State, right? That stretch of games. So at Penn State, this is like December 9th, right? They're at Penn State, which they won by 14. Then, again, 5 days later, they play on Tuesday, but Sunday at Oregon State, they win 55-53 in overtime. Okay. Then they go to Gonzaga, and they are down, and they charge back, and they win 68-66. Actually, Gonzaga was charging back in that game, but still, they hold on and win 68-66. Finish non-con undefeated. Then Colorado comes in, good team. Oh, well, let's have a doubleheader with the men on that Sunday, December 21st, which was awesome. 79-63, right? 79-63, they beat CU. So they're 15-0 to start the season. Or 15. Well, yeah. Hold on. So they beat CU. Then they turn around and go to Utah and beat Utah 69-68 on the road. Like conference game, again, had won a lot. And then they go to BYU after taking on Utah. Little jaunt from Salt Lake to Provo. And they lost 71-62. They got swept by BYU this year. But again, then you turn around and you beat UCF, you lose to TCU, you beat Kansas, you lose to West Virginia and Cincinnati, which again, quad 3 loss. I said it wasn't a quad 4 loss, and Cincinnati. It's just crazy because when they say any given night, they were nice. Cincinnati, it looked like they just be in first place. Pardon me. And other nights, it's like, wow, okay. But so you lose Cincinnati, you turn around and you host your first Territorial Cup game in a gold out. You beat that team down south 68-61. Then you turn around, K-State comes here, plays a crazy amount of zone the whole game, and they end up holding on for a 74-67. Well, they lost 74-67 to K-State. But then you turn around, Oklahoma State comes here. Oh, and by the way, you're going toe-to-toe with a very good team, and you end up getting that victory, 74-69. You go to Baylor, who was obviously the number 3 seed in the Big 12 tournament, 67-64. You're right there at the end of the game. Chance to send it to overtime. I mean, again, chance to win this game back and forth, and you go toe-to-toe with Baylor. Sweep Utah, beat them 71-61. The phenomenal game down in Tucson, and I will say phenomenal Tucson in the same sense because they were getting beat. They forced overtime. they win in overtime, and all those fans that are always there left early, didn't stay till the very, very end of overtime, didn't stay till the very end. So, yeah. And then you go to Iowa State and you get hammered 90-64, turn around and beat Houston, and then lose to BYU, lose to Texas Tech to close out the regular season. Now, that was on the road at Tech. Again, they were right there, 58-51 though. Turn around and beat the team down south for the third time, strike three and you're out. 54-51, beat Iowa State 77-68. After losing 90-64, you score 13 more points against them, and they scored 22 less points this time against you. So, and then you lose to West Virginia 67-54. But like I said, it was a I think it was a 3-point game, and then all of a sudden I think West Virginia hit an 8-0 run kind of late, and then they win 67-54. But yeah, Molly Miller said all of that, my Pitchfork Lunch peeps, and she says that, and it drives me crazy that she has to. When you have 24 wins, and people say, oh, this or that, they should have been ranked most of the year. I looked at some schedules, so we'll see. We'll see when it comes to selection, but again, and here's what I was going to say to you guys. Supposed to remind me, hit me up in the comments. They play defense. If it's an eye test, if the eye test is a huge part of it, like she said, they're competitive. Their defense. Look at the amount of teams they held below their scoring average. Now, I'm sure UConn, Texas, who beat South Carolina in the SEC championship on the women's side, even South Carolina, they'll hold teams below. But to do that as a team that's plus 14, has 24 wins, it's not a lifetime achievement award. That's my point. For this season, they are easily, and I do say easily, a tournament team. They're one of the 64, 68. And I don't even think they should have to be in that first four. I don't. I think it's ridiculous to me. If they're even considered that. They're after their first win against, I know you say Arizona, but they won them in the Big 12 tournament, coming off 2 losses. Again, not that a Molly Miller team would, and if you've been around this team, like I said, the personality of this team, the fight, the grit of this team, not that they would put their heads in the sand, but they could have just been like, oh, okay, well, we'll see. We'll pardon me, we'll try and beat Arizona. That Arizona game, again, could have went either way, 58-51. And or 54, sorry. Texas Tech game, they lost it. It was 54. So, I mean, that could have went either way. But then you turn around and you beat Iowa State. And then you follow West Virginia. She shouldn't even have to be, saying all that. But the part of getting to see, seeing the story, if you watch with your eyes, AP poll, committee, I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry, actually. Because it's a tournament team. The job they have done, again, Coach Miller, the coaching staff, the players coming together, and seeing the growth, but the defense, I mean, it started at almost mid-season level and has grown and is just they were going to play defense or they're going to be on the bench, and you see that from Coach. It's not just tongue-in-cheek, just saying it. No. So they play defense. It's not a lifetime achievement award. They are a tournament team, hands down. You can hit me up in the comments. I'm not hard to find. You see me where you can find me on the good old X at Diablo00. Because we're going to start, and then when everybody starts talking about resumes and this, they play this, they play that. It's competitive. In this day and age, you're playing, other Division I teams. They went to Penn State. They went to Happy Valley and held them way below their scoring average. And again, to beat Oregon State, who let's see, they Um, Oregon State, well, right now is taking on Loyola Marymount in the semifinals. Because they're with the West Coast Conference, and there's only 2 schools left. So hoops wise, they took the affiliation there, and then next year, obviously, it'll be the Pac-12 because of the teams coming in. But they're up 32-31 on Loyola Marymount at halftime. Actually, third quarter just started. The winner of that game will play Gonzaga, the winner of the Gonzaga Santa Clara, who again throughout the years. Oh, I was thinking St. Mary's, but yeah, Gonzaga Santa Clara. Gonzaga's 22-9. Okay, so teams at ASU beat is in the semifinals of the thing. So Oregon State's 22-10, one of those losses to ASU, and Gonzaga is 22-9, and they have lost to ASU, and both of them lost on their home courts. I know those are just 2 games, but the whole resume, and you watch the team play, and it's not a lifetime achievement. This year, they are easily, and I will say easily, homer or not, shirt you see or not for women's hoops, they are, I will say easily, a tournament team. Hands down. They've done more than enough, hands down. So, all right, that being said, I'm going to go to Coach Bartlett, and we're going to close out with the pathetic game being called because of time. Yes, time yesterday, what was set up. So, again, not going to go down it. I want you guys to hear from Coach Bartlett as she again, it was a tough weekend, but the Bats started to wake up yesterday, which was good to see. Again, battling, and again, Tanya Wendell's still out. Tanya Wendell, hopefully, again, we'll be back against Oklahoma State, but yeah, won't be playing against. I don't think he'll be playing. I shouldn't say won't. Probably won't be playing against Tulsa. But yes, here is Coach Bartlett yesterday after again losing to Utah 11-6, and then obviously getting swept opening weekend of the Big 12. But yes, here is Coach Bartlett.
Yeah, Bats started to figure out, started to heat up a little bit at the end. Yeah, just, it's a rough weekend. We'll get back to the drawing board. The reality is that's a very good pitching staff. You know, Kenzie had not had a ton of time in the last couple weeks, and she came out, she just wasn't very sharp, and that's a very good hitting ball club, and they made good on it quickly. So as she just continues to progress back and get back in the swing of things, expect that she'll be back into her old self.
So, okay, so with Kenzie, was it almost, I mean, obviously she's battling. I know you don't want to leave a pitcher out there if they're battling too much, but was it almost kind of like a pitch count thing too with her? You would, no matter what, you would have been at a certain pitch count?
She was on a pitch count today, yeah. Just some illness turned into some bumps and bruises, and we were just trying to buy her as much time. And, you know, yeah, she'll get healthy. She's a warrior. That kid has sacrificed many of the body part for Arizona State softball already, so she'll be okay. She'll be okay. It's just, the reality is that's a very good hitting ball club, and we kind of rushed her, you know, out onto the mound, and we made good on it quickly, so yeah, she'll be all right.
Okay, so I have to add the whole time rule thing seems like a very old rule
A
that
very weird nuance in softball.
has it been around for a long time?
Yeah, I mean, yes, it has. I think we ran into this once my second year at UT, and it's like those getaway games on Sunday. Utah had booked like 5 o'clock flight out of Sky Harbor, and so we knew when the game started it was going to be a 3 o'clock, no new inning, and then that late challenge ate just enough time that we were about 30 seconds. It was like 3 o'clock and 30 seconds, and once that first pitch had not gone off yet because we're on ESPN, and you know, we're waiting for the little person to tell us we can throw the next pitch, and the umpires had to call the game based on the rule book. So what an end to a interesting weekend. But yeah, just a weird nuance in softball that happens once in a while.
So, but to clarify, then, like, this wouldn't be something that would happen in the postseason, though.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
So, yeah, so you got off to such a great start in non-conference play. Why hasn't that carried over to Big 12 schedule so far?
I don't know. It was just, it's a stick and ball sport, and they're young people, right? I thought, continued to battle the whole weekend, and we started to put the pieces together, and they fired through, 4 arms today, so, but we just couldn't seem to get all 3 facets of the game rolling at the same time, and the reality is that happens once in a while, and there's a whole human element involved. We can come up with the most perfect game plan, right? And if they were robots and could easily execute it, if it was a video game, it would have been great. But it's the human element of sport, right? And they're young people, and we just seem to have a really off weekend. So I don't know.
What does it say about the resiliency of this team going down early and still battling back to make it a 5-1 game at the end?
Yeah, I was proud of that. That's the reality is it's not easy to hit when you're chasing big leads like that. I don't know how much baseball y'all have played, but it's not that it can't be done. It's just that you're certainly feeling it as a hitter, and you're trying to find the perfect pitch and maybe make decisions you wouldn't make when it's a tighter ball game or the hits are coming a little bit easier. But it's the task at hand, and that's what we had to do. And so the hitters figured it out. I mean, Kaylee Pond was 3 for 3 today with a home run. I thought she did a tremendous job in the leadoff spot. We have been searching for someone to kind of fill that gap until Tanya Wendell's back. Ash had a hit. I thought Sam Swan had a really good weekend at the plate. So there were certainly some bright spots. Gazi Adila had some tough at-bats in there, and so I don't know, but just came up short.
How do you think the offense after the first struggling in the first 2 games is able to improve in this game?
I think at some point you just get so sick of losing, like whatever emotions they took into those first couple games that didn't serve them pretty well, you learn to flip the script and you talk to yourself a little bit differently. We didn't really change the plan at the plate, honestly. They just picked better pitches and executed a little bit better. But a lot of that is just kind of the headspace they're in and how they're talking to themselves and the intention they walk up to that plate with. And they'll keep getting better. They'll keep learning. But that matters. Like, you're in this sport, your mindset absolutely matters. And it's just tough. It's not to make excuses, and we will certainly continue to grind and compete, and hopefully in a much better fashion than that. But it's just nothing was coming easy this weekend.
And then defensively too. I mean, you talked about Kaylee, but I mean, I know she had that one inning. She had like 2 of the 3 putouts. But just what have you just seen from her anchoring the defense in center field?
Gosh, she's got tremendous range, a hugely accurate arm. She understands time and space. She helps everybody around her decision make really well. And she's wonderful at the wall. I mean, that kid's as good as it comes in Division I softball. On catches where she's got to just like get there, kind of body up and roll off with her shoulder. And she's been tremendous for us. I love KP. She's one of those kids that I'd keep for 10 years if I could. And who knows, in college athletics, that might be happening. So.
What adjustments would you like to see your pitching staff make just heading into next week to maybe try and limit that damage?
Yeah, we're gonna have to go with the zone a little bit more. We're giving away way too many free bases. We can deal with the hits, and even today it just seemed like Ade ropes that ball at the shortstop, and she like makes a diving catch, and here we go, and like they're getting jammed shots that are falling into left field, right? Like for Dutch Norris, and I'm like, yep, welcome to softball. When it rains, it pours. But we absolutely have to just do a better job of attacking the zone. We can't give away that many free bases, because then it's when they do earn it or something falls in, then it hurts, because we hit too many batters, we walked too many batters. So we got to get back to the drawing board and trust our staff in zone.
Anything else for Coach? I know you earlier was mentioning some injuries. I know we saw the race on here. Is that kind of limiting her a little bit because she didn't quite make that herself today.
No, they all wear those. Just as we were progressing her back, she took a little break in there and she just hasn't pitched a ton, so she just was rusty. You know, I expect you'll see a much different Mackenzie Friday against Oklahoma State. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so the time thing first before we get to Mackenzie real quick. So this game was supposed to be played at 1 o'clock. Their Sunday games are usually at 1 o'clock. They changed it already to accommodate Utah, and Utah has the nerve to schedule to Salt Lake City a 5 p.m. flight out of Sky Harbor Airport. I'm never doing anything to accommodate them again whatsoever at all. Zero zilch. Game will be at 1 o'clock. Figure it out. Like, no. They could have scheduled a 7 o'clock flight. It's from Phoenix to Salt Lake City, guys. There's flights. And for those of you that are going to sit there and try and say, oh, well, maybe it's a fly a certain airline, this and that. It's not BYU. BYU doesn't even play on Sunday. So this series would have been over yesterday because we talked about BYU doesn't play on Sundays. You already changed the time because originally it was. I'm like, what? I'm like 12 o'clock. That seemed because we're in the. But they changed the time for Utah to 12 o'clock. And you have a 5 o'clock flight, and then, it didn't start. So, and they're making a run, but, we'll take the win. And then they got up. That's fine. Maybe Utah wins. Never again. Now, again, I'm not Graham Rossini. I'm not speaking for him or obviously Coach Bartlett in softball, but never again will I switch the time. I will say to them, okay, we'll switch it. We're not, if it goes long, you put your flight for 7 o'clock because we're not agreeing to, if we switch the time, this is what you're agreeing to right now. You're not taking a 5 o'clock flight. You could have gotten a 7 o'clock flight, 6:30, 7:30 flight. No. So I will never change the time for you again. Because unless we're going to finish the game will be finished. So, and I don't even think, here's the other thing too. I want to say to you. So that, to me, that's why I asked her, like, it wouldn't, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't because obviously nobody's going to get out of anywhere. So let's see. Do they take on CF, Texas Tech, BYU? No. Yeah, so they only play Utah once, and that was it. Because if they would have played them again, I would have been aiming to run rule them. And they are a good team. Obviously Coach Bartlett's not just saying it because they got swept, but you change the time for them, and then they have the nerve to book a 5 o'clock flight and trying to basically keep forcing this issue. So sorry, Utah. You come here next year, well, we'll probably be going there. But when you come here again, and it's a weekend, we will never change it for you unless it is booked at 7. Because I will go get some interviews and ask this a question like, this is ridiculous. Like, it's not a bunch of little kids playing. Like, you don't need a 5 o'clock flight. You could have a 6 o'clock flight or 7. You could have a 7 o'clock flight. It's Salt Lake City. So, but they did get outplayed, hands down. So they totally got outplayed there. But yeah, they were battling back, and it's 11-6. And like I said, that is a very antiquated old rule. Next time, leave it at 1 o'clock. Leave it at 1, just so they can't take a 5 o'clock flight. Physically impossible. Because you're not saying, we're only playing from 1 to 3. This is freaking college. That being said, there are still things, yes, pitching wise, and the hits all weekend long. Again, I give Utah their props. I'm not saying they're not a good team. I'm just saying I am never adjusting anything for you again. When you try and pull crap like that, getting the game chime change, and then 5 o'clock is our flight. Yeah, done. They'll be at 1 o'clock. Sorry. Schedule at 12 at your place. Don't care. Like, we're not going to sit there and leave. Like, I will say this lastly. They only played once, but I hope they see them in the Big 12 tournament. I really hope they see them in the Big 12 tournament. I know, beware what you wish for, but anyway, they could see him there. But yes, for those of you that messaged me, I was equally as annoyed yesterday and shocked, and I was proud of myself for calmly asking Coach Bartlett that. So anyway, tomorrow, again, Arizona is up here at Phoenix Muni, baseball, 6:35. I'll remind you all day tomorrow, but get out there because tomorrow night we need to just destroy those kitty cats. And I know I mentioned at the top of the show, by the way, but yeah, hell of a weekend for Lacrosse, as Thursday on the greatest day of March, they beat Niagara 17-7, and then Sunday, yesterday, they beat Bucknell 19-12. So absolutely awesome. Forks of them, and they play Wednesday again at 10 a.m. Very, very early. They take on Akron at Sun Devil Lacrosse Stadium. So you're up. I mean, I'll be out there. I'm just saying, I'll be out there. So yes, but Forks up to Lacrosse as well. So anyway, that was softball. That was a time thing. Never do anything for Utah softball again. It's this Bush League, and I will not change the time, and I will not agree to this thing. You're finishing the game. You can book a later flight. End of story. So yeah, that is going to do it for today, my wonderful friends. I will see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. And yes, you guys know it is hashtag our state. Thanks to reigning back-to-back Big 12 champs women's volleyball, as they remind me of that every time. It is hashtag our state. And you guys know it. I will see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. We'll, again, talk baseball as they take on that team down south for the first of 5. And, well, not five straight, but 5 times this year. And what else we got? Softball too, because they're playing UTEP. So that is going on tomorrow. So I will see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Have a phenomenal rest of your Monday. And you guys know it. As always, Forks out.
I went to Arizona State. Right. I'm a Sun Devil, man.
27-yard line. That's a great call. Blake Baker, Farmer will put it up, throws over the middle. Pull, touchdown. Quick flag.
3rd down and 5. Levitt swings it to Scatterboom. Scatterboom breaks defenders. Here he goes again.
Scatterboom is the running back, and he is immediately met in the backfield, runs through the contact, and then throws a shoulder for good measure.
This team this year. That is true. High in the air. Right center field. Brandon Compton. Welcome to 2025.
Today. This one the other way. He gets no going back. Now the drag walks up and down. Edwards pulls off and buries it. Richardson drives out for Robbie Ryan. Hurt 3 right on the money.
Takes his shot for